11:59 at Radio Free America. This is Uncle Sam with music and the truth until dawn. Right now, I got a few words for some of our brothers and sisters in the occupied zone. The chair is against the wall. The chair is against the wall.
How about now?
John has a long mustache. John has a long mustache. It's 12 o'clock, Americans, another day closer to victory. And for all of you out there on or behind the lines, this is your song.
And welcome everybody to our daily podcast, our daily gun show. Come to you live every day at 7 p.m. Eastern. That's 4 Pacific for about an hour or 90 minutes each day. We do 3 gun-related topics each day, different topics throughout the week. We run it live on YouTube. We simulcast it over at gunchannels.com, where we're watching the live conversation with the people that join us live during the show. Then we watch the live comments over on YouTube as well. When it's all over, we'll let it render into a video. We'll take the audio from that and post it on iTunes as a podcast. So we encourage everybody who listens to the show now or in the future to leave us some feedback on whatever platform it is you listen on. And that lets us know where you are, which is always good. And it helps to get our show recommended to more listeners. So we do appreciate that favor. There's 5 hosts. 3 of us are here right now. We got Bob jumping in normally from Canada, but he's here in Tucson at the moment. Thanks for jumping in. Sounds like your mic's working.
Glad to be here.
Yeah, loud and clear. Is your internet working okay out there?
Yeah, it seems pretty good.
Yeah, you're loud and clear too. Then we got Dano jumping in from Illinois. Thanks for joining.
Glad to be here.
With the time change, Z from Maui will be jumping in later since he and I both don't deal with y'all's time zones and whatnot. So we stay the same. You guys all just shifted on us. So it's a different time of day for us. And then we got Smeggy, who might be on the road traveling or something. And we'll see if he jumps in as well. So today being Monday, we're going to be starting off with episode 266 with taking a look at the week. Then on Mondays, we have our Gun Channels University. Today we're talking about our Pro 2A comic book project, starting with Gun Channels comic. And then we'll be talking about gun tech, future materials for armor. But before we get into those topics, we always like to take a break at the beginning of the show to talk about anything that might have happened overnight, or in this case, over the weekend.
Actually, I worked all weekend, so I have not been keeping up with what's been happening in the world.
I was about to say, I've been doing books and taxes and stuff for most of the weekend. I did get my friend gave me a cutting laser, though, so I now have a laser that's like 500 milliwatts or whatever, and I can go around lighting cigarettes and popping balloons and cutting things and blinding myself and burning things down. It's pretty fun.
Yeah, that definitely seems like a pretty wicked laser you got going there.
Yeah, that's literally the brand name of the place, Wicked Lasers. That's like the name of the company. And then Bob's driving all around Tucson, getting reacclimated, and we'll be getting together tomorrow, I guess, to figure out when we're going to start going shooting and whatnot. Otherwise, I posted a bit of I got some time to work on a project finally. So thanks to everybody over on my Patreon. Thanks to the Patreon supporters here for the show. But I have a bunch of Patreon supporters for the Gun Websites projects. And was able to, thanks to them, take some time this weekend to start on a project I've been chomping at the bit to work on. And I posted a sneak peek of that over on the YouTube side. So thanks everybody for that. And I'll be able to sneak an hour or 2 in on it. And the progress will go hopefully fairly fast. It's not like I'm learning how to work the thing. I just have to make time to put it all in there.
As a viewer, I would like to say that it definitely worked as a teaser, because I thought, oh, great, this sounds really interesting. And I'm like, oh, where's the meat and potatoes? It's like, oh, now I gotta wait.
Oh, you're barely looking at the place setting there. That's like the overall like sketch of the thing, and then it'll be a bunch of like meals. It'll be a bunch of like meaty ones when I get in there and start adding content specifically to little ranges and stuff. But yeah, I've been curious myself, because you hear about Model 1866 that, or Model 94 this, and keeping them all straight is kind of a pain if you're not, it's not one of your main hobbies or something. So for me, seeing things spatially, like when they happen, and in relation to when other things were invented or what else was going on during the history of the country and stuff, that helps me really conceptualize it, I guess. And that's why I'm, excited to be able to finally put all that together in a way that hopefully lets the concept get across to more people, right? So anyway, thanks everybody for the opportunity to do that. It really is cool to be able to sit some time and work on projects like that, and not feel like I'm, doing something wrong. I can actually justify doing it. It's fun.
And and I can definitely get a much better, deeper understanding of watching it. Presented. If the same person is doing presentation A, B, C, D, and E, rather than look at one person do one piece of the pie from one angle and a different person doing another piece of the pie from another angle, and then you have all these disjointed kind of concepts or descriptions out there, rather than a consistency throughout all.
That's true, and that's one of my frustrations. I didn't have a good way to articulate it, but yeah, that's exactly. You see all this information out there, but maybe it's about this, maybe it's about the Winchesters, or it's about the lawmen or something, and you really, at least I have never found something that just says, here's the order that they were made and a little bit of why, or what led from this to this kind of thing. Anyway, so yeah, thanks again for everybody for the time to do that. Anything else gun related happened this weekend? We had well, we'll talk about that, I guess, in a moment here. So without anything else before the show starts, I guess let's just get into the meat of the show. On Mondays, we always like to take a look at the week, so I'll do that. I'll mention what we're going to be talking about today. So tomorrow in our Second Amendment segment, we're going to be looking at the Hughes and the NFA and the Hearing Protection Act, and just kind of an update to those things. We'll be doing MacGyver as our good idea, bad idea. Turns out Z is not a fan of MacGyver, so that'll be an interesting one. And then we focus on a state each week. This week it is Texas. And of course, all of our daily stuff. Every day we look at a gun shop. Every day we look at a gun of the day, a movie, and whatnot. Let's see, on Wednesday, we'll have our CCW topic will be, should you train with specific carry guns? Not sure where we're going with that one. Our entertainment segment will be gun magazines, the old-fashioned paper kind, not ammo holders. And then, of course, on Wednesday is our tactical quiz. Of course, or I should keep saying, of course. On Wednesday is our tactical quiz. Then every day, at any moment, there's a possibility that we might have a tactical pop quiz. And,
at any time.
I thought it was going to happen.
The alarm could go off for the tactical pop quiz of the day, but it's not yet.
Not today. Now on Thursday, it'll be episode 269. We'll be talking about top novelty gun segment. I'm not sure what that is. So I guess we're going to look at the top novelty guns that are out there. Interesting. I think we talked about novelty guns last week. Well, and then on our training segment, we'll be talking about Clint Smith. And then on Thursdays, we look at the calendar of what's coming up in the shooting industry, shooting community, as far as any kind of events, big gun shows, get-togethers, trade shows, shoots. So anybody who would like to contribute to that, we have a calendar over on gunchannels.com. Anyone can post something to it, and feel free to do so. If it's an event that you participate in or that you're a part of, definitely want to post it there. If it's something you just wish you could attend, feel free to post it there. You never know when someone's traveling, or someone might live near something and never even realize that that was happening right near them. Let's see. So then we'll go to Friday. It'll be episode 270. We'll be talking about our alternative gun topic being on those gun owners, quote unquote, lists. And then for the gun biz, we're going to take a look at Springfield. I think that means Springfield Armory, not Springfield from The Simpsons. And then we do sort of the opposite of this. We look back on the week on Fridays as well. Like I mentioned, every single day we talk about a gun shop. Every single day we talk about a gun movie, a gun of the day, things like that. If you ever have any suggestions for things like that, you can join us on Saturdays. Oh, I guess we didn't talk about that. On the second Saturday of the month, we get together and schedule the show out another 30 days ahead. That gives an opportunity to our Patreon supporters to feed us topics. We put those right into the schedule, as well as an opportunity for anybody who wants to, get a little bit more regular real gun talk on the weekends. An opportunity to just hear us kind of jabber about the direction of the show and where we're going to take it. So anybody who'd like to offer suggestions for a gun shop of the day or a gun of the day, or even a quote or a quiz question and answer, you can email us with those at dailygunshow@gmail.com. Or join us in one of those scheduling shows. And I suppose you can contact us during the show as well. It's easy enough for us to copy and paste. Really, though, email is probably the best way, because then we have a permanent record in case somebody doesn't see the comment or something. It's probably email's a little more permanent way of sending us info. And but anyway, that's the week. It looks like a pretty interesting week.
Yeah, you had mentioned emails, so I want to go ahead and segue into a couple of emails that we got over the weekend. And I want to thank both Mr. Pawnery as well as Angry American for sending in some very helpful questions on the tactical pop quiz of the day. So those will be put into the hopper and definitely be used and appreciated for sure. So thank you, Mr. Bonnery and Mr. Angry, for sending that in via email. So our next segment is...
Well, we're going to be jumping into our Gun Channels University segment, but I think we're going to, well, we always take a break from the first and second segment of the show each weekday to mention or feature one of the members over on Gun Channels. So Gun Channels is a place we built a while back. It's a community focused on firearms. It's completely membership driven. It is completely online because of its members. That means there's no ads there. Nobody's asking or suggesting that you buy anything. Well, I guess other than the other members there who like to spend your money. But no obligations to anybody but our members. So it's a pretty cool place. And we like to feature some of the members over there during the show. And today it's Catch, Mika, a friend of ours from Finland. And it's timely. I mean, we put Mika in there a long time ago, actually. And he just happened to jump in. I guess, what do they call that? What's that word? It was meant to be. He jumped into the chat this weekend to let us know that he's going to be in Texas next week. And while he was talking to Bob and Edge and some of the people from Texas about potentially meeting up with him. Now, he's from Finland. He's one of our members, I think, since the beginning, really, maybe even from YouTube before that. And he participates quite a bit in the chats when he can, with the time zone difference and whatever, you know, obligations he's got in real life over there. It's not every day or anything, but he's a regular, fairly regular and consistent. He'll be, you know, very rarely does a few months go by where we don't see from Catch or hear from him. He's got a unique situation over there, being in Finland. They have different firearms laws, but he can literally, he has, while we've been on a live chat like this, he's literally walked from his house over to the gun shop, purchased a suppressor over the counter, and then walked home, which was pretty cool. He owns an SVD, right? So an AK that the 54R version of the AK, their sniper gun, basically, that we can't even own here. We can't get them imported. So he has some guns that we can't even get. And he is a gun owner, an active gun owner in Finland. So again, he gives us some really interesting insight. I think a lot of us have learned more internationally, at least than I would have ever anticipated, from the members like Catch. Anyway, so it turns out he came on this weekend to chat and tell everybody that he's kind of last minute found some friends that were traveling internationally, and he decided to go with them. So he'll be in Dallas, and he'll be able to meet up with Nate from Sheepdog Leather and some of the other people in Dallas there. And once he started talking, we started looking at the calendars. He's gonna be here during Big Sandy. He'll just be in Texas. So now I think he's figuring out if he's able to schedule a sub flight, and then once he gets to Dallas, spend some time there, then jump over here to Arizona and travel with Bob and I up to the Big Sandy machine gun shoot, which is kind of out in the middle of the desert. Bob's talking about bringing his camper up, which will make it kind of nice. And potentially we'll have a very international Gun Channels event here with three different countries participating in one of the best, if not the largest and coolest, well, definitely the coolest machine gun shoots. All private individuals who just share an interest in a decades-long tradition of getting together twice a year and shooting their machine guns at this hill in the deserts of Arizona. It's about halfway between Phoenix and Vegas as the crow flies. So literally out in the middle of the desert, some private land. They get together twice a year. About a quarter mile or so of those pop-up tents is the shooting line. And pretty much every one of those is somebody who's been shooting there, like I say, for decades, as just a informal group, I guess, of people with similar interests. And it's just a heck of a good time. For $25, they allow spectators. It's nothing like Knob Creek, where it's kind of spectator driven and it's all about ease and comfort and everything. This is a little bit more rough. You have to camp out there. Can be cold, can be hot, but adds to the, I guess, that level of difficulty adds to the type of event it is. Very fun event, like hanging out with a bunch of friends. Everybody's really comfortable and friendly, and of course safe, and it's just an amazing. You're shooting a dynamite and fireworks that are supposed to be exploding way up in the air. People are shooting tracer rounds at them, and they're exploding on the hillside in front of you. It's just an awesome event, and anyway, seems like it might be fortuitous that that Catch happened to get this opportunity right at the right time. So hopefully that'll all come through, and in about a month or so, or in a few weeks actually, we'll be telling you about what it was like having a Canadian and a Finland or at completely American Freedom Festival.
Yeah, he's called a Finn.
Finglish or Finglish?
No, he's Finn. He's a
Finnish.
Finn. No, a
Figure out something that's not derogatory yet annoying to him. That's what we'll figure out.
Yeah. But I just like to mention that at least I've found very educational. That is, and maybe this is typical of many Americans, is that, you know, have made the assumption in the past that all countries within the EU were pretty much all the same as far as their distrust and sometimes hatred of all things firearm, and to find out that that's not necessarily true, and that that, you know, some of those countries, you know, were, I hate to say to use the word allowed, but I'm not sure what the appropriate word is, but have kept some of their long-standing freedom traditions in place. It was really really eye-opening to learn that, you know, Finland is one of those countries. So, and he's a really great guy. You know, again, he does tend to come in randomly, you know, because of his schedule. He works a lot. He travels a lot. You know, he does have a family, and he's also an avid motorcyclist. So he cycles all throughout Europe. So he's got, you know, he's more than just firearms, but he certainly has, you know, very much into them as well. And I can't imagine how going to something, I mean, I've never been to an event like you guys are talking about, but I have been around, you know, full auto weapons before, so I can kind of imagine a little bit of how freaking fun that would be. And I can't imagine, what I can't imagine is how fun it would be for somebody who's never experienced that sort of thing, that is also into firearms.
Oh yeah, it's going to be a hoot.
I mean, in my imagination, what I have is, it's like the Disneyland for firearms enthusiasts.
Yeah, that's pretty
as far
cool.
as visually.
Well, it's not like Disneyland gives you the impression that it's set up for spectators and they're there to amuse you and you're paying them to do a little dance. This is more like, you know, whatever they call that last thing that you do in basic, where you have to climb up the wall and walk towards the M60s that are shooting at you and climb around barbed wire and all that shit. It's kind of like that. Or maybe it's more like when you go out and do your night fire demo, where they just take you out at night and sit you in the bleachers, and then basically everybody shoots off all their tracers, like if it's, you know, Battlefield or whatever. It's sort of like that, because it's, you know, just all happening. It's just that you're sort of seeing behind the scenes. So it's almost like you have a behind the scenes look at a big fireworks event. Yeah. So something's happening, and it's happening for their own use, you know, for their own entertainment, but they're more than comfortable letting you watch from behind the scenes. So you can look over their shoulder as they're having a heck of a good time. Where like Disneyland makes it sound like they're out there to entertain you. Like, here's us shooting this gun and stand over here so you can see. This is more like just people having a good time and enjoying themselves together, and then allowing spectators to watch.
Oh yeah, well yeah, you're a spectator, no different than watching a football game, a basketball game. You're vicariously enjoying the experience through someone else.
But I guess I'm saying the experience is a bunch of hobbyists as opposed to people that are paid to entertain you or something, where it's a whole nother level. It's not like you're there to watch a movie. It's like you're there watching the movie be made. Okay, so anyhow, yeah, it would be pretty neat for him. I don't think I was going to say if he was in the service, he'd want to experience something, but I don't think he was. I don't think they make him do that stuff over there. Have we ever talked to him about that?
Not directly, but but yeah, my gut tells me he wasn't, but I could be wrong.
He's definitely comfortable with firearms, so that might be part of it. But I don't know. I don't know if I've ever asked. Anyhow, so that's that. We're going to move into the Gun Channels University segment of the show. Like say this week, we're going to be talking about our 2A comic project. So it's something that I started talking about a couple of weeks ago, and I'd like to keep the ball rolling on it. That's why I put it into the schedule here. And I don't know what all we're going to be able to accomplish other than to kind of get the concept out there again to our audience here. I think I've talked to Matt's audience on Never Enough Ammo's Nerd Geek Chat on Monday. I think last week or the week before even. And we had some interest in it. So here's the concept. We've got a channel over on Gun Channels. I'm going to go grab the link to it now. And it's called Gun Channels Comic. And then anybody who's got some talent or some time to spend on the project, maybe if you know a one of your kids or wife or somebody you know is a good friend that's got artistic talent and is looking for a place to practice that, or to get some experience working with other people, because some people can sketch and everything. It's a little different when, what do you call that, when you sketch something for someone, like, I don't know if that's called contracted or but sometimes somebody can doodle it on their own, but when they're asked to do something specifically, that's another skill. So maybe we can help somebody who's a developing artist with that type of thing, or again, just somebody who has the talent and is looking for an avenue to express it. What we're going to try to do is gather a bunch of artists together who can help come up with some caricatures or images to use for the various characters on gun channels. And then we're looking for some talent, some people who are creative to come up with some stories. On Matt's chat, I forget who it was, sent in a story, but like a comic, we're going to need more than one story. Usually each comic is a story at least, unless you do it like heavy metal or something where you might have multiple stories inside of one issue. But what I'd like to do is gather some talents, gather some people who have some artistic talent, gather some people who have some writing talent, and then I'm not sure what else is involved in a comic together. So maybe somebody who's got some experience with the whole shebang, right? Getting the whole project worked out, coordinating it all, and then basically gather whatever resources we need to get that done, and then have some fun with it, right? We make a comic book, maybe some of the adventures of, I don't know, whatever, somebody in gun channels, maybe doing it like a heavy metal type of comic. If people aren't familiar with heavy metal, it was, they call that an analogy, analogy. I forget what they need to call that.
Anthology?
Yeah. Where you
Anthology?
like different artists and different stories, and they kind of put them together. So it came out, I think, monthly or bi-monthly or something, and there were some comics in it or some stories in it that were consistent, and they would be in every issue, and then every once in a while one would only be in there twice or three times a year. And some of them were standalone, some of them were stories that went through. So very much like the comics in the newspaper, I guess, if anybody remembers that. But anyways, maybe we could do it something like that, where there's different stories, the adventures of Bob, the adventures of Smeggy or something, or maybe it's just the whole gang, the Gun Channel Adventures or something, the Gun Channel's Mysteries or something, where we all drive around in a van solving mysteries. But something, we'll come up with some stories and we'll come up with some format, and I want it to be fun, but really there's an overall goal. And once we've got a couple under our belt, what I hope we can do is work as a team using all those resources that we've come up with, and then point towards the Second Amendment and create some Second Amendment comics. Something similar, I guess I got the idea from those comic book manuals that came out with the M16s back in Vietnam. It was dry, boring material, kind of basic stuff that nobody was necessarily going to read. You're just going to acknowledge that you accepted it from your armory guy or your drill instructor or whatever, and then you're going to put it in your pocket and never look at it. So they tried to, I think, solve some of that by making it interesting to read, right? Making it a comic book, so there was, if you were just literally that bored, it was something to entertain yourself with or something to look at, and then you're getting some information. So for some of these Second Amendment topics, I'm thinking we can put something together using those skills that is a better benefit, a greater benefit. And if that just goes out into the internet and doesn't go very far, great. But if it does better than that, and we accomplish getting some of the the core principles behind some of our positions across that way, then we've gained something, right? So anyway, that's the goal, and I'm hoping people are out there are as interested in something like this as I am. For now, we're not going to really coordinate anything through our daily gun show. We'll be coordinating all that through the channel over there on Gun Channel. So again, if you are a member of Gun Channels, head over to the comic channel and join it, and we'll start keeping in touch there. And if you're not a member of Gun Channels already, but this sounds like an interesting project for you, then consider this an invitation to join. There's no cost at all. All you need is an email. Once you're a member of the channel, or once you're a member, of Gun Channels, the system, then you can join a channel like you would on YouTube. Like you can subscribe to a channel, it's basically the same thing, or subscribe to a page on Facebook or something. Join the page and get into the conversation, and I'll continue to work on it with the help of whoever is interested in participating, and we'll come back to this show and give you some updates as we can make some progress.
I need to do a quick administrational thing. Smeggy, can you see the side chat?
Yeah.
Okay, thank you.
I will look at it. Oh, okay.
Well, like watching the YouTube and the be like Z.
Yeah.
I just didn't want to interrupt the flow of the show to do some background business stuff.
Yeah, sorry about that. I was still kind of setting up my tabs and all that
So
stuff. I
is,
just got home, so I'm still getting in the groove.
yeah, no problem.
Okay,
Is the
Smeggy,
show
we'll
the same
forgive you.
time? Is the show the same time for you, Smeggy, that it normally is? Has anything changed for you with the time zone change or whatever it's called, daylight savings time?
I don't know. Did you start 30 minutes ago?
Yeah.
Done that
For,
for
he,
time.
for him and me, nothing's changed.
Okay. Because what we're going to find out is that Dano leaves about an hour into the show to do his gig. Z doesn't get off of his gig now because he and I don't time change. We are normal and you guys all change around us. Now he's an hour shifted. So basically it'll be like Dano will pass the baton to Z for the next couple of while until we figure out what's going on. So anyway, just wanted to find out who else might be affected like that. All right, so I think with that, we can jump into the next segment. Like I said, unless anybody has any specific questions about the comic idea or anything to add to that.
I just want to add that I think that's a good idea. There's like a handful of, comics or even like short animated things on YouTube that are, like liberty centric or, like promoting freedom type stuff. And I think that's a great way. If it's a little bit entertaining, that's a good way to spread a message as far as just gun, whatever you call it, pro 2A or gun culture, whatever. Just show that, hey, we're all normal people and we're just having some fun.
That's another aspect of it. That is good. So Buzz is saying on the YouTube side, thought he had artistic talent. I'm assuming it's a dude. That person thought that person had artistic talent until that person found the internet and that person realized that that person sucks. Ha ha ha. Well, here's the deal. Look at The Simpsons. That's crude and lame compared to, I don't know, something fancy, like some kind of fancy cartoon. But we're glad that What's-His-Face decided to still do it, right? So I doubt that very much anyone cares if this stuff is realistically drawn or like Simpsons funny, simplistic, whatever that like cartoony thing is, or like the, Snoopy comics or something, or, we're just familiar with those, but new comics come around all the dang time. And we're going to be looking for any amount of talent. So, I don't want anybody to think that because they're not at some level that they shouldn't participate. This is open for everybody. It's not a judging. It's not a competition. This is a participation thing. And not like everybody's going to get a trophy, but definitely I think we're going to do better with more input than a bunch of people.
Right. And I think even a better example is South Park. Because that's even more, they literally cut out circles of construction paper and then, like put it down, took a picture, like changed the mouth, took a picture, changed the eyes, took a picture. Like their very first one was super crude. And now like they do it all on the computer, but it still looks the same. Stuff overlaps and like people stick their arm through a wall or whatever. Like it's just, it doesn't really matter. In my opinion, I don't think we need to be the best.
Canadians talk. Right? Look at how the Canadians talk. You can't get a whole lot cruder than that.
Well, yeah. What would you do? Your head's a giant, like a oval or whatever that splits in the middle,
like a clam.
The one thing we are going to need good artists for, we're not going to accept any amateurs, is when we're talking about drawing windbreakers. Now that's an important subject, so I think that we should probably have legitimate artists. We might actually have to.
And that's the end of that topic. So hit the shelters. They're coming in after us. Ah!
Okay, then.
Right.
Holy jeez.
Yeah, I don't think anybody gets that scared of a wind siren or whatever. Maybe a helicopter.
It's time for the tactical pop quiz of the day. So those of you over on YouTube and those of you over on Gun Channels, get your cursor down in the text box, limber up your fingers, and get ready to go. Today I got Smeggy helping me. Smeggy, if you could do me a favor and keep an eye just on the YouTube side comments. I'll keep an eye on the Gun Channel side comments. And if you see the correct answer, just say winner,
right,
and then we'll know who got there first, whether it's you or I that say it. And I will read the question twice. Have you seen the answer as well as the questions made?
Yeah, the answer's 42, right? Yeah, I'm ready.
Correct.
Okay.
Correct. Absolutely. So,
I am watching.
Good. All right. So the question is as follows. Thunder Ranch is located in what city and state? Is located in what city and state? You have to get both the city and the state correct.
And type them at the same time. Don't be like blah, 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 / blah, blah, blah.
Yeah, no putting them on different lines and said, I got it, but I spread it all over the place.
Yep.
Not just the state home runner.
Well, geez, that's
Remember to make it
Anyways.
easy for Dano.
I said city. Okay, winner. And the winner is over on Gun Channels, and it's Travis 11, and the answer is Lakeview, Oregon. Congratulations, Travis.
Travis.
You are the tactical hot shot for today.
I
So
wanted
congratulations,
to do
Travis.
that. I thought I was Z today.
Oh, Dano corked you.
Oh, that's okay. It's your baby. You got the pop quiz.
You can do your own thing. It's all good.
Well, it's okay. You already did it.
Yeah.
No,
So thanks. Who won?
Travis
It was
P11.
Travis 11 over on Gun Channels.
Yeah.
At
Thanks,
least
Travis.
I say your name right, Travis.
So Travis, thanks for participating and winning today. We always send over a link to the winner and to our website, Daily Gun Show /pop quiz. And what you're looking at there is a patch panel. It's a bunch of patches that we either make here in Tucson or have made for us. It's a bunch of patches that people have given us for the panel, or a couple of them Bob and I have bought at gun shows over the time. And we send the winners over there. They pick one of the patches off of the picture there. Down below, there's a place you can tell us where to send it. We ask you for a first choice, and then a second choice, and a third, although we've only needed to go to the second choice, but a couple of times we've never needed to go to a third choice. We have a lot of selection up here. So thanks again for participating live. And
All right, I do have a follow-on message for Travis. Is if you can find a patch that has a Kimber in it, yes, you can have that patch, but you cannot have a free Kimber.
No kidding. Free Kimbers that we get all go to the hosts of the show.
Holy crap. Stone Guy 223 is watching on Instagram. How's it going, Stone Guy?
that could be
Hey,
anybody.
Stone
Even-
Guy.
It could be anybody, but
It could
Anyways.
be him. You never know.
Hey,
Yeah,
we
so
can hope.
for the people that are watching on Instagram, I just started the live Instagram feed here for the Tactical Pop Quiz, where you're watching our daily gun show. We chat live every day. We do a podcast every weekday at 7 p.m. Eastern. That's 4 Pacific. And at some point during the show, we do a Tactical Pop Quiz. And Dano just finished the Tactical Pop Quiz.
And that would be me, just Dano.
So now we're going to move on to our gun tech segment of the show. So today it's future armor materials. Where are we going to take that one?
Future armor material.
Ooh,
I think it's obvious it's going to be plastic. I mean, it's not like we're going to figure out, unless we come up with like transparent aluminum or something. That's
We
strong.
have,
I just
let's just do a review of where we've been. We have traditional metals, we have Kevlar, and now we have these, the future is unknown as far as the carbon, not carbon fiber tubes, but the, what are they? Not carbon
like
tube.
nanotubes or something.
Yeah, those
yeah,
things.
nanotubes.
Carbon nanotube.
And that technology and where that will play into soft armor or a common or a hybrid of soft and hard.
Oh snap!
Yep.
It is the
Well,
Stone Guy.
And you
Except
gotta
that
you gotta
not
look at
in capitals, so it might not be Stone Guy really. It could be
Oh,
some of the
yeah.
Stone Guy's account, but he only got one capital in that whole thing.
Oh, it can't be the real
Oh.
one.
yeah. Maybe he's figured out how to turn off caps. It's been a while.
I don't know. It's only been 3 years or something. I guess it's possible. Anyway, so sorry. Yeah. So you're saying the carbon, some kind of a lightweight carbon based.
Yeah, those
Carbon nanotubes.
nanotubes.
They've been around for a long time, like over 20 years.
Well, yeah,
Yeah, but they're
it's
very
fine.
expensive to make. So when
I
as
mean-
the technology gets better, where we can make more of them faster and cheaper,
Yeah.
then they could be used for stuff. I would say I know the one that's like at least on the horizon enough so that like I've seen it on Discovery Channel or Military Channel or whatever, is that like dragon scale. And it's supposed to be, like a bunch of smaller panels that kind of overlap with thus looking like scales. And it's supposed to be, lighter weight and yet stronger than what we're using now. So
you're talking about dragon skin? That was a concept, but
yeah.
they glued all those discs together. So as soon as they got hot, they unglued and just fell down to the bottom of a sack. So you basically had a bunch of discs, wafers at the bottom of a sack, and that would protect your abdomen pretty good. But most of your vitals are a little higher than that.
Oh, okay. So I saw that a few years ago when I guess it was still on the edge of tomorrow. And now you're telling me R&D has backstepped a little bit on that. Okay, interesting.
Yeah, I think it was just as soon as they brought it over to real heat, it didn't work so good. But I can't imagine why you couldn't physically connect them a different way than adhesives. I don't know, or else maybe there was something inherently wrong with the concept. Dragon skin works for a creature that needs to move around and it's getting bitten by other things. But does that mean it's going to work for the way the way guns work?
Right,
Well,
but yeah,
plus
it's supposed to be a lot
dragon
more
skin
flexible and allow for more movement. Is
Yeah,
what I remember
most
seeing.
dragon skin was supposedly impregnated with jewels and encrusted with jewels, which would have upped its armor rating.
Can we try to stay in reality?
Can you take your nerd stuff to match
We're
chat?
talking about dragons, and you're talking about staying in reality.
We're talking about dragon skin based off of the look of it, not actual +3 to charisma freaking wand.
There actually was.
And there's the geek coming out in G.
I played D&D, but I was a teenager.
And see, Bob
But
was a teenager when dragons were still alive.
Well, that's true, but nevertheless.
Oh, snap! They're saying,
when we
hold on, let me interrupt Bob because it's just a Canadian. So they're saying on the Instagram side that this is no lag at all. So we might start doing the tactical pop quiz over on Instagram, but we'll be doing it on the Instagram, the Daily Gun Show Instagram channel instead of the Gun Websites one, and then absolutely zero delay. That's like maybe a cheater route. People can get live.
Now, unless they're one of us, how do they know what real time is?
Well, because they're watching both on Instagram and on YouTube and on gun channels potentially, so they're seeing it come in at 3 different speeds to them.
Gotcha.
Okay, sorry, Bob, to interrupt you there.
Robbie actually has an interesting comment as far as he feels that it's going to be an odd mix of alloys and ceramics. And he says Ceramics, I'm not sure if I'm pronouncing it correctly, CERMEX, is one example.
That's just ceramics made in Mexico.
Okay. Maybe he was.
I think we're going to be looking at more of a high-tech plastics, composite plastics, because of the lightweight, as well as, look at these plastic targets. They basically self-heal. Now, if you can make a ceramic body armor that doesn't allow penetration, or at least far penetration, and self-heals and is lightweight,
Yeah, because when the bullet goes right through the target, you want your body armor to heal back up afterwards. Until they make self-healing people, I don't know if that's gonna be.
No, but I'm saying
I hear what you're saying. I know
that tech be front of something else. So slow it down and then stop it with a third layer, second layer, and then let that slow down.
That's the whole point of the composite, right? Well, I've been watching some people on YouTube building their own body armor, and there's people using fiberglass and some people using like the carbon fiber welding mats and stuff like that, and making body armor that is reasonably most of it works, especially when you consider these doing it in a shed.
And in a way that does kind of fit in what I had mentioned earlier is when I said hybrid materials, meaning 2 or more that would be used together. Like you may have an outside layer of maybe some sort of a soft armor that's current today, and then underneath that there may be some sort of harder ceramic.
Have you seen
lighter? Than
that's basically what they have now, right? You put a ceramic plate inside a regular like 3A vest. You can there's inserts to put a ceramic insert in?
Sure.
Yep, that's a hybrid. But what you make the hybrid out of is what is ultimately what makes it different.
And that's why I say I think we're going to see high strength composite, like plastics, like the kind of stuff they're making Glocks out of. Why wouldn't that be reasonably bulletproof if you played with the chemical composition a bit?
So have you guys heard about materials that they make by taking two materials or maybe more, laying them next to each other, then setting off an explosion and letting the force of the explosion smash them all into one material?
No, but that sounds fun.
Yeah, they can make some really neat metals that way. So I'm thinking, there's potential there for making something that's, forged by such force that a bullet would be a joke to it. And then potentially some kind of, combo that makes that light enough weight to be useful. And then, you guys blew past leather. I mean, I guess it does, when we're talking ballistically, leather hasn't been very effective, but back in the old days. But it was definitely effective for knives and whatnot. So is it possible that through bioengineering and all this genetic manipulation that we can't find something like a turtle shell in nature, or develop something that's even stronger, than a turtle shell, or maybe put up a structure of nanotubules or whatever into the general shape, and then let some sort of a bio, bacteria or what am I saying, algae or something or whatever kind of grow around some kind of infrastructure and become a natural material. I know we talk a lot about plastics like they're the future. Plastics are older than shit. When are we going to get to biomaterials?
Well, I think we're already getting there, right? I mean, when you think about they're making plants that are resistant to insects, and the fact that the plant is actually got a skin on it that's too tough for the normal insect that would attack the plant to be able to penetrate it. So that's a perfect example, right? That they could start growing ballistic armor.
You've got spiders that can make a silk that's stronger than any plant material. So what if Spider-Man,
right?
some of them spiders into making a Kevlar that could be spun into a stronger, some of the guys on YouTube are saying they'll think the future is going to be more like just a t-shirt or something. Actually,
the first
Michael said it's woven with spider silks.
The first bulletproof vest was made out of silk by, I think, an Irish priest or somebody, a Catholic priest, who designed it for the New York police. And it was made out of silk, layers of silk.
That sounds like the beginning of a bar joke.
No, it's actually not. It's actually that's actual fact. Like the first bulletproof vest was designed by some priest who I'm pretty sure he designed it for New York police, and it was made out of layers of silk.
Now, do you think that because of the Undetectable Firearms Act being created because of a bunch of politicians are idiots and they got scared of a movie that made it sound like guns were invisible, do you think that when we start talking about some kind of a bio armor being genetically created, that they'll make some kind of non-bio armor, non-bio weaponry bill so that we don't accidentally get Spider-Man running around? Or some of the villains, I guess, that happen?
Well, isn't that some of the anti-GMO laws are basically, they literally are worried about people being bioengineered. And there's no reason you couldn't bioengineer someone to have a bulletproof layer under their skin. It's
I was going to make some kind of bio accessory. Bob wants to inject it right into you.
Hell yeah. Wouldn't that be cool? Just be able to grow your body armor underneath your skin?
No, I like my skin.
It'd be fine, man. Then just imagine you could have a six-pack. Just bioengineer a six-pack.
I saw something interesting. I think it was over the weekend. And this is something that I've thought of before, is using some type of non-Newtonian fluid, that the goopy stuff that when it is exposed to some type of impact, it gets really hard, but then it gets back to being, liquid after the fact when it's not under pressure. And what I saw was the Stretch Armstrong. I don't know if you guys remember that toy.
Oh, yeah.
It had corn syrup or something in it, and it stopped a high velocity 22, a 9mm, a 40, and then what? I think they shot with shotguns, and the shotgun went through it.
A 40 is the holy grail.
I know, that's why I had to specify, because I didn't want G saying, "Well, of course 9mm, because that's weak," but it stopped a 40.
Doing his 9mm shaming. Shame on you.
So, and that's just goopy cornstarch.
They didn't
so
shoot
they
it
made
357 though.
Well, I know, but that's again what I'm saying is use that principle and develop something else that acts the same way. Because I really do think lightweight and flexibility is the features that they're going to be going for. I mean, that's what they've been trying to do for a while now. Every advancement's been making it lighter, making it smaller, or more flexible. And that's going back to that dragon skin. That's what it was supposed to be, was that the plates would like slide over each other and flex so that you can move around easier. Now, apparently they did not get that working, but yeah, put some goop in a bag. And
when I think of what's the state of the art at this moment, I think of the ceramic stuff that literally floats on water. It's that light.
Well, they do have plastic armor that's just poly whatever, and it's just super thick. It's lighter than regular ceramics and steels, but it's like twice or more thicker than steel or ceramics. So it's just in the way for most people that are actually trying to do tasks and
a lot of bulk.
Gotcha. But yeah, just the fact that they're able to get it to work at all is amazing.
But think
what was Stretch Armstrong full of? Was he full of sand or was he full of like silly putty?
No, it was cornstarch.
Yeah.
Oh, that's really all it was.
Corn syrup stuff. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Because it would stretch out and then bloop 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 bloop, shrink back down, and then if you punched it, like it would, resist it because of the non-Newtonian feature.
Yeah, I think
the most bizarre toy
after I was growing up.
I didn't realize they were so old. The guy said that it came out like in the 70s or something. I had it in the 90s and I thought it was like a new toy.
I never saw it in the 70s or the 80s. I mean, I didn't see it until the 90s with my own kids.
Yeah, I heard of them when I was a teenager, but it was like not something I was interested in. It was, yeah.
It had to be when you were little because it was pretty lame. It didn't do nothing. All you could really do is everybody could pull on an appendage.
Oh yeah, it's a little kid toy.
Yeah.
I had fun with mine.
I wish they would have taught me the science. I would have cared more. I just figured it was silly putty or something in there.
You're 4, 5, 6 years old, that sort of thing.
Yeah. Or
well, I mean, I was 23 when I had it, but whatever.
Sorry about that, Smeg.
All right. Well, I think we've solved future armor. All somebody has to do is take some of the notes. They take some notes from this segment of our show. Make armor and become rich. So
take some nanotubes and cover it
to cover yourself that you're actually bulletproof.
Yeah. And remember, if you do perfect one, send it to us, and we'll give it a good test and let you know how it works out.
Wait,
Smeggy would be the perfect test subject.
You're volunteering?
No, I was volunteering Smeggy.
Oh, I don't know if a Canadian can volunteer in America.
Well, I guess I got to earn my paycheck somehow.
Well, let's do that by moving on to the next segment.
Any holes you get, we'll just pack more snow in.
So unless you guys want to add something more to that we missed or during we talked over or something, I'm gonna suggest let's keep going just for the sake of time. But the point of our topics isn't to give you enough authoritarian knowledge of the subject. We just like to touch on stuff, and sometimes it's in the news or whatever, and maybe give you an idea for your own video or podcast or a blog or something, or if you're in one of the live chats, something to talk about. But yeah, I think that's something we've finished. So move on to the next thing. Don't look like Z was about to jump in here. We're about to lose Dano and get Z here in a second. So I think let's go to the gun shop of the day.
Sure, let's check that out.
This one was sent in by somebody. Now, we all have different ways of doing this. When I see something come in an email, I usually just zap the info over. So I don't necessarily acknowledge who sent it in, and Dano usually does. So this must have been mine because I don't see anything in here about who posted it, but I think this came in through email. Anyway, we like to feature.
Why you didn't get credit for it? It's because I'm not the one that pulled it out.
Yeah, so it's just, you know, I don't. That's
It's
just
not a slight.
Yeah, so just letting people know the operational behind the scenes, so you don't, feel. I don't know, and I guess let us know if you want to be credited. I just default that people don't care, and
Yeah,
so that's
I would say just, let us know if you don't want to be mentioned. Keep it simple. Otherwise, if you type in your name, I'm going to assume that it's okay to put your name.
Either way, we like to feature a gun shop every day. One of the reasons Bob and I started doing the show over a year ago on a daily basis was so that we could cover a new gun shop every single day. We know we can't see every single gun shop, unfortunately, so we depend on our audience, people that watch the show live or in the future, to send us in some emails talking about the shops that are interesting or unique in your area. And that's what this one is. So it's called Harley's Guns and Ammo. It's a gun shop in Georgia. It's in Coolidge, Georgia. I guess I could map it, but I have no idea where that is. Anyway, I think that's all we got is that information. I'm assuming it's a cool shop. So if anybody has any more info on it, feel free to let us know. Or if you have a link to somebody who's done a review of it or something, then send that in. So we'll just acknowledge today that Harley's Guns and Ammo is in Coolidge, Georgia, and has been recognized as our gun shop of the day. I don't suppose anybody here has actually been there by any chance.
Did you try to pull them up on the internet?
No, I could have probably, but just figure for the sake of time, we'll just touch on them today.
Okay.
So if we're doing the shop a slight, let us know, and we'll definitely address the shop again. It's not like we have anything against the shop; we just don't know it. Yeah, I was just trying to do something to transition. I don't want to do the movie till Z gets here, So why don't we do the healthy tip real quick? So every day we try to shove in a healthy tip into the show, just to remind people that the most important part of the gun is the part that pulls the trigger. I like to walk around. So for me, I put this one in here, podcasts over videos. I do a lot of stuff on YouTube, so it's not like I have anything against videos, but you got to have bandwidth and you have to be watching the thing. So for me, listening to podcasts, actually, I end up joining the live chats over at Gun Channels because then it's an actual conversation. But if there's not something live happening when I'm walking, I like to listen to a podcast. It gives you, it's just like listening to the radio or whatever, but it's on a subject you're interested in.
Yeah, definitely. Podcasts are cool.
Yes, yes.
So we got Z jumping in. I'm assuming Daniel's going to jump out.
Well, something when I first saw this topic, I thought, well, this show is kind of a hybrid. This is going on a video format out to YouTube, yet this is, for all practical purposes, functionally a podcast, regardless of whether it goes on Apple's podcast or not. That's kind of what it is.
Well, we do this as a podcast, but what happens is we get so much feedback from the ladies that they can't see Bob that we have to do it as a video. Just as a
but I think it's
fine.
how
Ladies,
you can
okay.
one media
for the ladies.
Oh no!
Oh my God!
Now this is turning into a quirk moment.
Yeah, it's super hot out here right now, and this is the consequences. I should have never said nothing. Now we got a naked Bob.
Unfortunately, I can't turn his camera off remotely, so
We can kick him. We can ban him from the chat.
And then he won't be able to come back.
Hey,
I muted him.
Here. Give me a break.
Think of what kind of welcome this is for poor Z, working all day. And
Yeah, I don't know what I walked into.
Oh my goodness, now he's doing.
Well,
something. Let's quickly move on.
yeah.
Yes, moving along.
You came into a good break period, so let's get back on track.
Yes. So what do we got left? Let's do the movie of the day. So every day we like to feature a movie to remind people of a movie they might not have seen in a while, or if you're a youngin', something you ain't seen yet. Today it's a TV show, I think. Bob's gonna like this one. It's called Strike Back.
I think it was canceled and it just became uncanceled. I think they added like another season or so. It's one of them Cinemax.
Has everybody seen it?
It's a really good TV show, and I'm surprised you haven't seen it. Gee, it's got lots of AKs in it.
When did I say I haven't seen it? I think I've watched it twice.
Oh, okay. I don't know. I think I asked you about it once, and you hadn't seen it.
Well, yeah, but then I watched it. That was like 6 months ago. I think I'd seen like a show or two. I watched it on Netflix, I thought.
Yeah, it's a TV series. I think it's British and American.
Oh, I thought it was in Canada.
Oh, it might have been Canada.
I think it was on
Yeah,
Cinemax originally.
Yeah,
But
same thing.
You can watch it on Netflix though, right?
I think Netflix and Prime.
Oh yeah, because I binge watched them. I think there's a couple of seasons. I watched a bunch of them all at once. This is the one I'm thinking of, right? Where it's all super fast action. It's like all kind of
Two dudes.
a level higher than Jack Bauer. It's like
Two dudes, right?
but then their boss is always like a hot chick.
Yeah.
Like they had the one hot chick, and then she got killed or something, and then like an even hotter chick became their boss. That's the show,
Yep.
right? And then they use VZ58s a lot.
And she's always a ball buster too.
I thought there was too much 9mm in that show for me to like it. I don't know.
Uh-oh.
Here we go again.
You're gonna get 9mm persecuted.
Gonna start
Oh,
off
that's fine.
that 9mm matters shame again.
Yeah,
Well, no,
but
I was just going. It was so Euro. It was so Euro that there was just 9mm everywhere.
AK-centric, man. It had AKs all over the place.
I'm sorry, but a VZ58 is arguable that it's an AK-47, sir.
No,
But they did
They
have
had lots.
It's arguable.
They had other AKs.
Hey, tons of
Oh,
AKs.
okay. Well then,
You didn't watch it all, did you, Z?
nah. I watched like 5 minutes. I'm like, this show sucks. But actually, it was. But now I was very harsh on it. I was in a foul mood when I started to watch it, and it was one of those where it didn't give me what I wanted right away. So I said, "F it." Now I have thought about going back and watching it since then, though.
I would put it at like a 6 or 7 level of worth watching it again. There's other shows I would probably watch again first, but if you've never seen it and you're looking for something new, it's worth watching.
And
Unless
I would
you
like
really-
to concede to Artisan Tony out there. He's very right. He says all meters matter.
I was going to say no millimeters matter.
Well, okay.
You do realize a 40 is the same as 10.
No, how can you wait? Whoa, hold the phone. How can you say that 40 is the same as 10?
It's the same diameter.
It's
it's
the
the same.
same.
From the perspective of a 9mm shooter, all those calibers are unshootable, so it's the same to them.
Okay.
I'm not talking about the cartridge. I'm talking about the projectile. It's the same diameter projectile.
Yeah, but like so is a 357 and a 38. So is a 380 and a 9. Like that's
The diameter of a 40 caliber barrel, the inside diameter, it is 10 millimeters.
But are you going to try and tell me that that bullet is the same, Dano? I'm going to say no every single time.
It's a different design because it's most likely longer.
Yes, it has more powder, it's longer, and it's a heavier projectile that it launches at an even faster rate of speed.
Diameter. I didn't say it was the same mass.
Yep, I got you. You said it was the same for starters, and that was where I would disagree.
Well, maybe I was too general.
Yes.
Just a little, Dano.
But you fell into my trap.
Yes.
And he's been watching since he was 15. How old are you now? That's the
Wait a minute. Are you supposed to be watching it now, even?
Are you even
Well, he
supposed
said
to
he's
watch
been
it?
watching gun websites, so I mean that's
Oh,
on the YouTube stuff.
okay. Then he could be old enough to vote. He could be old enough to drink, actually, I think.
I think 13 is what you have to be old enough to use the internet or whatever. It's usually at least everything I do. I don't do 18.
No, but I'm saying you've been doing yours for like 8 or 9 years. Like he literally could be old. He definitely should be old enough to vote, and he might be old enough to drink.
Who?
The guy he's talking about.
Oh,
Somebody on the Instagram side, I've been simulcasting this on Instagram. They just commented they've been watching since they were 15, and I just said, "How old are you now?" Because that could put some reference on it.
15.
Yeah, exactly. I'm 15 and a half. Like, oh, okay. So anyway,
Those hats.
Sweet.
You know, I'm 55 3/4.
All right, now back to the Strike Back. I'll give it 1 thumbs up for sure. It's because you know what? It was a TV program that I don't want to call it pro gun, right? But at least there was A-team amounts of firearms.
It was pretty pro-gun. It showed the gun. Yeah, saving the day almost every show. Well, every show the gun saved the day.
Well, they dealt with a lot of like what cartel type of bad guys and stuff, or
yeah, it was
or
serious.
terrorism. What is it that they're against?
but they did good manipulation, and like it wasn't over the top, like hearing hammers on Glocks or nothing like that. It was pretty decent as far as guns go.
Yeah.
I'm gonna give it.
I mean,
what I also like about it is multiple seasons. So if you do like it, if you start watching it and you dig it, you're not gonna just be over in 2 hours. You're gonna have.
Like I said, man, they did renew a season. They are even having 1 or 2 more seasons. They just got like the renewed funding for or whatever. Like I just saw it the other day for Strike Back.
Yeah, they did.
Gunchannels.com. Gunchannels.com.
Yeah. Not gunchannels.com.
Yeah. Like 2 thumbs up for me. I mean, like they would check their chambers, see if they had a round in the chamber. They would check their magazines. I mean, it was the way they used the guns and manipulated the guns, and it was quite realistic. I mean, they missed sometimes.
And I hate to say it, but there needs to be a little more of that in TV and movies. And I don't mean like G.I. Joe missing. I just mean not everybody is a bullseye shooter in split seconds or anything like that. I don't know.
That's true, eh? Some of us just go for groups.
Yep.
But yeah, I give it two good solid thumbs up. So
G-Web's a little busy setting his computer on fire, it looks like.
Okay, Smeggy, have you seen it, Smeggy?
Oh, I think I have. I think I know what you're talking about. Is it kind of like what would you call it? Like an NCIS kind of thing where it's like some government team going around saving the day or whatever.
Yeah.
And it's
right, but they're going
Canada.
after usually terrorists and they're kind of black ops.
Yeah, I can't say that I've watched it enough to really give it a fair rating. Like I said, I think I may have seen it. That's about as good as my brain's working right now. So I'll give it a sideways thumb because I don't really know.
Not what that means, but okay.
Oh snap! Is Matt about to start a show already? He's already sending me a link.
No, he's like an hour early.
Okay.
Unless he jumped ahead twice, like he changed all his clock. His wife changed all the clocks ahead, and then he changed all his clocks.
Then he woke up. Then he woke up and changed all the clocks.
Dude, it's Wednesday already. What the hell?
Yeah, had a few beers, changed the clocks, went to bed, got up in the morning, changed them again.
All right. So with that, I think I'm going to give it 2 thumbs up. We're all done giving a thumbs up. We're recommending that one.
I think so.
Right. So, gun of the day. We're going to flip over to Avidya.
Did you know in Kong Skull Island they had AKs, an M14, and M16s in the same movie? Did you know that?
Thanks for spoiling it. No, we didn't know that.
Well, you need to get your ass to the movie theater. But anyway,
before we do that, we're going to talk about the gun of the day. And today it's the Sundance Industries gun. So the way I got them laid out on the table here in this video, I'm screen sharing. So if you're listening on a podcast, you might want to go back and look, or else go to the description of the video or the podcast, and there'll be a link to this video. So I've got my collection of Saturday Night Specials. Oh, did my internet just crash? I got my selection of Saturday Night Specials out here. I usually set them out with the ravens going down the center. I consider that the trunk of the tree. That's the one that George Jennings, that's the company that George Jennings started originally in right after the 1968 Gun Control Act. Then the various companies like Jennings and Davis and Cobra and Lorson and all these come out from that main trunk. One of the few that comes out straight from the trunk, in other words, built directly off the Raven design in 25 ACP, unlike the Jennings, which were sub-caliber 22 long rifle, or the Davis, which went up to 380 or 32 ACP. This one stayed at 25 ACP and kept the overall look of the gun. It was George's nephew who started Sundance Industries, and what he did is he ergonomically changed his uncle's gun. So he kept it 25 ACP. He kept the overall form and function for the most part. What he added, like I say, were some ergonomic things. And once I get to the point in the video where I'm actually looking at them, here we go, we can look at some of those features. So first off, you get a little bit of slide bite on one of these types of guns, depending on like how fat your hand is or how you like to shoot it. So what he did is he curved this back part of the slide, which eliminated a lot of that. He also added a grip safety, like a 1911 or like a XD, so that the gun can't fire unless it's actually being depressed. So once you have a shooting grip on the gun, you can actually fire it. I don't think I like that so much unless you're talking about the laser BOA, which is this model right here, where the grip safety actually actuates the laser. So as soon as you are gripping the grip safety, the laser is on. So there I kind of can see it being at least useful for that, although I don't like the idea that the gun's inoperable. I would rather just have that be the switch for the laser. But anyhow, neither here nor there. Sundance also changed the original Raven design by adding a button here. Instead of having a little lever underneath it, let the mag come out, there's a little button here. So it's more like a Beretta or something. Otherwise, it's basically the same gun as his uncle's. It was up in, what's the name of that town? Smeggy Corona or something? It was up by, is that called Magic Mountain, that like amusement park we went up to?
Yeah, it's something like that.
I think it was, maybe it says on here.
Some
Valencia,
amusement park
California.
place thingy.
They say Valencia, California. So it's kind of north of LA. So when Smeggy and I did the tour of the Ring of Fire factories, when we went to do a majority of them in one day, we started with Sundance. It was the farthest north, north of Los Angeles. And I think it was called, like, was it Seven Mountains? Or anyway, there's some kind of amusement park there that people in California would be familiar with. It's basically across the street in a little industrial complex. And
Six Flags?
No, it was something like Magic Mountain, I think.
Okay.
Something that's not a chain, I think. I'd heard of it like a long time ago, but it's not one that like Six Flags that I've heard of a lot because there are a bunch of them. Anyway, here or there.
And it's not like Disney World or whatever.
No,
like,
definitely not that. It was more like just roller coasters and stuff. But it was a smaller place. It was one of the smallest places that we saw as far as physical size of the place, which I guess makes sense. They didn't stay in business very long, so they never like expanded or upgraded into a bigger facility. Definitely wouldn't know it could have been an AC place or a plumber or a cabinet maker. There's no way to tell from the outside that it was a gun maker. And I don't know, anything else about it is kind of here nor there. It's an interesting little sideline off the main trunk of the Raven branch. And that's our gun of the day. Every day we try to feature a gun, and that was the gun today. So,
As the nephew, was he relatively approved for that, so to speak? Because I know we had talked about son-in-laws and all the other weird stuff that happened, and the high school friend and all that.
Yeah, exactly. So the daughter of George married George's factory foreman, and his name was Davis, and they got married and created Davis Firearms, and they made the dad's gun, but in 32 ACP and 380. They also made a Remington style Derringer, the Davis Derringers. So that was a company that existed. Now that Davis guy's brother started a company called Sedco, and he basically cloned the wife's brother, Bruce Jennings 22. The brother of Davis basically copied that gun. Now that one didn't go over well. Everybody sued him. His brother sued him, Jennings sued him, and I think Raven sued him too. And then he was put out of business really quick. And this
so
is
long,
very
thanks for
similar.
playing.
Yeah, exactly. And that was that first one we visited, Smeggy, the one in whatever it was next to that lake on the way up from San Diego. So
right,
it was
yep,
also a little tiny one. But like I say, that one didn't last very long. So they definitely allowed this one, or you could say like nobody resisted this one. And it was very similar to the uncle's gun. So I suspect it was more of a, hey, you want to get in the business? Go ahead. If you got some ideas, take it and go.
Like there's some level of approval, so to speak.
Again, I can only assume, but yeah, since there didn't seem to be any resistance to it. I think it really didn't succeed because it was sort of like a deluxe version of those guns. And no, you're buying those guns because they're inexpensive, not because you wish you had a deluxe
Say
version.
it with me. It's not Dynasty. It's not Dallas. It's not Knots Landing. It's the Ring of Fire miniseries. I'm telling you right now.
It would be. Yeah, interesting.
Millions of dollars just are going to fall into your pockets, G.
Bob can play Uncle George. Smeggy can be no. Nobody wants. His problem is they're all not all. Very few of them. A couple of the key players are just evil people that you wouldn't ever want to associate with. So I don't like to condone the human beings necessarily, but I do think.
Well, no, that's why when you do the miniseries of it, you get to portray them in all of their evilness, so that the world knows.
I was going to start putting people we know with the characters, but I wouldn't put my worst enemy on George Jennings. He's an asshole. So.
Oh, that's what I'm saying. Yeah, you get the biggest pick you know.
Bruce George Jennings is fine. His son.
That could be a comic book series. Series.
Good. You can go make a comic book series about a monster. We can make a comic book series about gun channels and then Second Amendment issues.
Right. Okay. Yeah, like that's why I started out with Dallas and Dynasty and Knots Landing. Like literally, it sounds like it could almost be drama.
I mean, it certainly is. I'd be curious. I know, G-Wubs, you have done a lot of research in it, and you know a lot of the, what do you call it, like the backstory or the side stuff. But is there like a book that actually puts all of it together?
No.
And like you can read it, almost story form?
No, I would like to do that. I will do that eventually, but if somebody else doesn't, but no, not yet. There is one book made by Palladium Press. I can go grab it. It's more of like a guide to a pocket gun, and they just happen to use all of these guns as examples. But it isn't like a Grim Reaper of the Ring of Fire.
A definitive resource on the subject.
Yeah, I'm going to totally do that at some point, but because there's no call for it, it'll probably be like when I'm Bob's age and dying and looking for something.
So I'm telling you, man, you get it to be the movie of the week or whatever, or you sell it to Oxygen Network or something. I'm telling you.
Yeah, it would definitely be a show. Because I mean, just look at like Game of Thrones or actually Shameless comes to mind when you talked about how some of the characters are not very good. Have you ever seen that show? Like. You start rooting for the people, then you realize they're jerks, and then the other people you start rooting for, and then they turn into jerks, and it's like whatever. You go back and forth, but just the story behind it and all the different lawsuits and the stuff. What I'm afraid of is even if you do it as much just here's the story that happened, and you try and be just these are the facts. This is what happened. People will see that as a reason that like. Guns are evil or something because of all the lawsuits and things. Okay. And it'd be hard to write that and keep the Ring of Fire, like the guns themselves, in a good light.
Because it wouldn't be that bad because you do the side stories about how these guns help protect poor people and little old ladies who couldn't afford a $300 Smith or something,
Yeah, like the little opening credits where they usually would like show you the mystery that's about to happen or like some unrelated thing. You just have like some little old lady walking home from someplace, and then she's like scared to do it, and then she looks at the gun in her purse and goes, "Okay, that gives me the confidence to do it." And then she goes and does her thing, and there's not a ton of eventful. That would be boring, and nobody would watch that, I guess.
That's why you let.
You could still have.
That's why you let Hollywood write it in the worst way.
Oh, it's almost.
But anyway.
All right, so that's the gun of the day. So I think we're about done, unless I'm missing something. Got a little line through this now. That's it. So I think we're done with episode 266. We'll be back tomorrow. Episode 267, we're going to be talking about, we're going to be updating everybody on the Hughes NFA and Hearing Protection Act. Actually, we're going to be talking about it. Hopefully, if anybody has some new info, he'll bring it to the table. It's not like we have time to sit down and research before the show, but we're going to be setting some time aside to talk about what's going on with those three efforts. Our good idea, bad idea will be MacGyver. It sounds like Z and I on opposing views there. We don't know where Bob and Smeggy and
well, Bob's Canadian, so I'm pretty sure I know where he's going to go on this one.
And
I want to be the only guy standing there.
Hey, no spoilers. Let's just see what happens tomorrow.
Why don't we let that happen tomorrow? So doing it today. So then we've got all of our daily stuff as well. Anybody else? Am I missing anything today?
Gun channels today? Or did we do that already?
No, we didn't. So there's other stuff happening here on the gun channels.
See, we got Matt probably coming up either in 40 minutes or so.
Yeah.
Does that sound about right?
He already
That's
sent
correct.
me a link, so I wouldn't be surprised if he pulls one of those.
Or even earlier. Maybe he's even talking 10 minutes. I'm not sure. So keep your eye out for the notification on Never Enough Ammo's Monday Geek and Guns chat or Guns and Geek chat.
Does he have
then-
a top 10 or 5 today?
I have no clue.
Netflix top 10 Netflix like binge shows or something.
Oh, okay.
Okay.
So like top 10 shows, you just sit down and watch all of them.
And then I'm almost 100% we like shooting today, and then maybe Hawaii Volcano Squad with a updated version of the Locked and Loaded show.
I would imagine he's still looking at that property and stuff, so I'm sure people have watched
Yeah,
it.
he's been pretty regular on it too. I mean, he's been consistent recently, so it seems like he's kind of into doing a show, which is good.
He's in the groove.
And then, of course, Early Watch. He's all over the Instagrams and all of that. Jimmy James, doing good. And that's tomorrow morning, right?
Tomorrow all morning. Yeah.
Yep.
So, did we ever talk more about hashtag Daily Gun Show at all, or did we talk about did any Instagram stuff come up, or with the hashtag or anything like that? Have we
We should start doing that.
unfurled that flag yet?
It's easy enough to jump over to screen sharing the Gun Channels account, so that's what we're doing now. And we'll type in hashtag Gun Channels.
No. Daily Gun Show.
Oh, man. Hashtag Gun Channels.
And see if anybody's been out there using the hashtag.
We've got 43 posts. Yeah, we talked about this when we were talking off air last week. We're going to start taking a look over on the Instagram at hashtag Daily Gun Show. So if you'd like your photos to be included in the segment, simple as typing in hashtag Daily Gun Show as you create your post. So when you're posting something on Instagram, you have a chance to type something in there and just type in hashtag Daily Gun Show like we did right here. And looks like it's mostly our stuff. Is this? Yeah,
It's a video.
Yeah, this is Bob out shooting at the SHOT Show. Look at how worried this guy is. Look, he had to put his arm up because Bob's being crazy.
Well, Bob with a shotgun, let's be real. Bob, what shotgun was that, Smokey?
What are you shooting there, Bob?
Hang on. I'm doing something else. That is a Beretta.
Did you like it?
Yeah, actually, it wasn't bad.
Well, a Beretta semi-automatic shotgun should.
I don't know what the hell
Not
Marco
be
doesn't
bad.
know we're in the middle of a live show. Quit calling me. I thought he's watching us. So maybe he's just trying to get some extra attention. So
Nice.
then we got Matt posted this pineapple thing. Imagine that's for Z. These are
Nice.
old. This is from 16 weeks ago, so these are not new. This is
Yes, that's why I wanted to reiterate that. If you post stuff up about the show or whatever, or sometimes it's the booty that you won from the show, like a patch or the stickers or what have you.
Yeah, if you win the daily the pop quiz, when you get the stuff, definitely hashtag,
And post a
Daily
picture.
Gun Show.
Hashtag Daily Gun Show. And whether you post that on Facebook, on Instagram, if you tweet it, we might be able to see it, let alone on gun channels and all that other stuff.
So yeah, we
And who
want
knows?
to encourage people to start doing that, and because when you do
used
that,
before.
it'll help our show to be recommended. Well, it helps to get the word out there about the show. So you're doing it to participate in this segment of the show, but then also there's an ulterior use out of that more people get out there and see basically the tactical quiz stuff they'll see, and jump over and listen to the show.
Well, also, though, if you post something that's hashtag Daily Gun Show and it's something that you want to share with the show, maybe, and it's not even the patches or whatever, maybe it's you doing something that we'll end up wanting to talk about on the show. I don't see much of a problem with that either.
Oh, what the hell! I posted a picture of me being on the Daily Gun Show, and I didn't use hashtag Daily Gun Show, dude.
Well, and plus, don't use the. That's
Yeah,
the
I'm
other
just doing
part.
Daily Gun Show is what I'm
Yeah.
using.
So yeah, and if you guys do have questions, subjects, all that kind of stuff, you know where to go by now. You go to dailygunshow@gmail.com. I mean,
I'm going to
pretty
take a
much.
moment and just say thanks to the people watching on Instagram. I'm going to end the live feed over there, but it's not. This is actually the first time I've let it run so long, but I might do this again in the future, especially for the tactical pop quiz if I can remember to do it, because it sounds like it gives people an extra couple of seconds on the jump on the answers. But anyway, thanks for joining us. I'm just going to end the Instagram thing here real quick. Thanks for joining us live, and we'll be back tomorrow 7 p.m. Eastern, 4 p.m. Pacific. Okay, that wasn't the end of this show. That was just the end of the Instagram. We had 214 viewers over there, so they smoked.
Wow.
So if you're going to let Instagram punk us out, we'll just turn it into Instagram.
Wait, you're telling me Instagram beat gun channels and YouTube combined?
Put together times 10. So, yeah. People go, what's up with Instagram? Well, that's one of the things, I guess, that's up with Instagram. Now, as far as doing a Facebook Live, I guess we could technically do it, but none of us like Facebook, so unless we have to, probably we won't do that stuff right away. Same thing with Twitter. I just don't know how to do it on Twitter.
I use Facebook to keep and to let my relatives know I'm still alive. That's about it.
Nice.
I guess I'll mention we are about to do another run of Gun Channel's patches. We're going to do some PVC patches in some alternate colors again. Just time for some new ones. Some of the guys want them for the NRA show. So we're about to have a new thing go out. I'm probably going to put it on Indiegogo, just because that's the easiest way to kind of help keep track of who wants what, I guess. And then I guess stay tuned the next couple of days for that. Otherwise, we'll be back here tomorrow for episode 267. I think we already talked about what we're going to be talking about. Thanks for watching.
Aloha, everybody. That'll leave it up to Bob.
Yeah, I was just going to say, I guess it's up to me to close it out. I must say, Dano did put the quote up. It is Clint Smith, wonderful gun instructor. But before I get to the quote, I just want to thank everybody again for watching and listening. Remember to like, share, subscribe. Helps us get our word out there. So the quote is, again, from Clint Smith.
We do have one other thing. We do have one other thing. Does everybody know what tomorrow is?
Tuesday?
The 14th of March.
I'm familiar, but I don't know if I'm allowed to say that out loud.
I don't know what you're about to say.
Well, it's not St. Erho's Day yet, so.
Oh, wait a minute.
What?
Oh, it's Pi Day.
There you go.
Pi Day.
Tomorrow's the day.
Right.
I thought last year was Pi Day.
Last year was a really cool Pi Day because at 310 or whatever, it actually went out to like 8 digits or whatever. If you went to 3.14 and then the time, you could actually get Pi out for a while, but it'll be 3.14 tomorrow. Close enough.
I got
you.
you.
Or like 2015, right? Because 3.1415.
That's what it was. Okay, I knew it was just like last year or the year before where it was like even further natural, but that's cool about the time.
Well, no, that was last year. So yeah, this year it'll just be 3.14. You can celebrate it all day with pie. I like to celebrate it with cake, so we'll have to do. So we'll see what happens tomorrow.
Oh man, key lime pie tomorrow. Oh, sweet.
Oh, that might work. We got to figure out somewhere to go tomorrow, Bob, where we can get some pie.
No kidding.
I know a place. I think I know a place that's famous for their pie. At least they consider themselves famous for their pie.
Right, Will.
Anyway, sorry. Clint Smith.
No, hey. Yeah, okay. Now I'm thinking about pie. No, Clint Smith quote, an armed man will kill an unarmed man with monotonous regularity. So on that, thanks everybody, and we'll see you tomorrow.
The guys and gals of gunwebsites.com encourage you to take a CCW class every year, practice at least once a month, and carry every day. Thanks for watching gunwebsites.com.